Welcome and good morning, everyone, to our next exciting session. Today, the topic is build your component with XM Cloud Component Builder, which will be presented by Kaushik Mukherjee. He is a Sitecore team lead, and Rohan Damodar. He's a Sitecore practice head and Sitecore MVP. So get started with the session. Hand over to you, Kaushik. Yeah, you're on mute, Kaushik.
Oh, sorry for that. uh, Good morning, all. Good afternoon, all. Thank you, Arjun. Um, Thanks for the introduction. So, can you see my screen?
Yes, Kaushik.
Okay. So, today we will actually discuss about the XM Cloud Component Builder, which is basically a default functionality in XM Cloud. How we can build a component without doing a single line of code. So we will discuss about these things and we'll try to give you a demo and we will try to understand how it works and how easy it is. So let me first discuss about the introduction. So, sorry, the agenda. First of all, we will inform you about us, me and Rohan. Then XM Cloud overview. So Rohan will give you some idea about the XM Cloud, basic idea. Types of component in XM Cloud. What are the different types of component we can have in XM Cloud? Then XM Cloud components and overview and introduction. Then the main topic we will discuss about the XM Cloud component and the benefits, key benefits of these XM Cloud components, why we should use it. And finally, we'll show you a demo, how we can create and use one XM Cloud component. And then we will have a question answer session where we will discuss um, whatever question you all have. And we'll try to answer those. So, what do you, Rohan?
Thanks, Kaushik. So first of all, I would like to thank SUG Kolkata for giving me and Kaushik an opportunity to present here. It's always nice to present. I think this is my second session at SUG Kolkata. So thank you for giving me the opportunity and great work. So about me, I'm Rohan Damodar Kenkre, 4 times Sitecore Technology MVP, currently working as Technical Director at TechZot. I like to share my knowledge. So technically, I like simple bits or tricks that we do in Sitecore to share those on sitecorediaries.org. If you want to get in touch with me for networking or like just to be a friend, you can make a note of my social media handles. It's the LinkedIn is Kenkre-Rohan and X is Kenkre_Rohan. Over to Kaushik.
Thank you, Rohan. Sorry. So myself, Kaushik Mukherjee, I am a Sitecore lead in LNG consultancy. I have done Sitecore certification in Sitecore 10 as well as in XM Cloud. So you can get me in my blog that is kaushikmukherjee83.blogspot.com. You can also connect in LinkedIn and Twitter in the given URL. Yeah, that's it from me and thanks for joining the session. So let's start the session. Rohan,
Yeah,
please start.
thanks, Kaushik. So I'll start with XM Cloud overview. I know that most of you have already heard this buzzing word in the Sitecore community, right? So it's buzzing. Like when I say buzzing, I say 2 years back, whenever somebody used to do a Sitecore certification, it was mostly on Sitecore 10, .NET, and you used to see that on LinkedIn, right? Now, if you see anybody who is getting certified, it's mostly on XM Cloud, right? And why this is a shift? Because all the competitors in a world, or maybe like in DXPs or digital experience platform, everybody is trying to push their software as a service model, right? What is software as a service model versus monolith, right? So monolith is like once you sell your product, then you can customize everything right? And then you can host it and you pay a nominal amount to the provider who has given, like from whom you have bought the software, right? And then you can do it. Software as a service will create a thing where your cost can be reduced based on your usage. Let's say you have very less visits to your site per month, right? Then you don't need to pay for the full software that Sitecore has developed, right? Because you are not using it to that potential. So that gives a client an opportunity to utilize what you need. Okay. So that is a difference between monolith and software as a service. Now I'll come back to monolith. So if whoever has worked in Sitecore for a while, that you know that Sitecore is very famous for its XM and XP model, right? Which is experience management and experience platform. Experience platform is nothing but experience management plus XDP. Okay, so now let's keep XP away because it is not yet fully transformed into software as a service, but the XM part of it, right? What we used to call experience management, where you get the CMS, basic personalization, then forms and basic stuff that you can do in the Sitecore as a CMS. That is totally transformed into a software as a service model, and that is being named as XM Cloud, right, as a product. So that is what we are going to do today. That is what we are going to learn, how XM Cloud can change. I know that you might have so many questions around, right? What is a vision from Sitecore? Are they pushing for SaaS? Is Monolith will be there around? We will take all this question at the end for sure. But in an overview, it's all about what is XM Cloud, right? So it is nothing but the cloud version of your CMS portion of Sitecore. Okay. Can we move to other slide? Yeah, from here, what I'll do is here a quick overview of different types of components in Sitecore XM Cloud. So the first one is out of the box, right? With the name itself, you can understand what it is. So it is a pre-configured components provided by Sitecore that require minimal setup. Okay, and this include basic functionality like forms, navigation, content rendering elements. So these are the basic one where you don't need to do much. You can directly use it as is. Can we go to the next slide, Kaushik? Yeah, thank you. So the next come in line is Sitecore components. So this is custom components developed specifically using Sitecore framework. When we say Sitecore framework, so how the traditionally there were Sitecore components that we used to develop, right? So Sitecore has developed this in XM Cloud and it's already there for you, and platform capabilities, right? This can be tailored to meet specific content management or experience delivery needs. Okay, so you can use it and this will be given a demo on. So Kaushik will be running us where he will show how the XM Cloud interface looks, how you can create new components and how it will be configured and till what end you can do customization for a single component, right? Can we go to the next slide, Kaushik?
Yes.
Thank you. So next is SXA components. So whoever has worked in Sitecore before, that we know that there are 3-4 models of working, right? One is Sitecore MVC. Before it was Sitecore Web Forms, and then in the most of the people started adopting Sitecore SXA. So Sitecore SXA has become a prominent approach in nowadays when you start a implementation. Also, there is Sitecore JSS. But with JSS also, you can use JSS plus SXA, right? So keeping that in mind, Sitecore XM Cloud also gives you capability of SXA components. So this is something like reusable and pre-built components that accelerate website development. Okay, enabling drag and drop capabilities means if you remember experience editor, how you have a toolbox, you can do a drag and drop, right? Capabilities for layout and design without needing much technical expertise. What it means is it is for content authors, right? And it is for content authors where you can just do drag and drop in experience editor. Yeah. Can we go to the last type of a component? Last but not least. So this is nothing with the name itself you can understand. So this is bring your own component. Okay. What it means is custom build components typically developed by external developers or team. For example, if we get a project.
Hi, can you please mute?
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
sorry. Yeah. So I'll start again. So this is nothing but bring your own components, which is custom build components typically developed by external developers or team that can be integrated in XM Cloud. What that means is, like, let's say if you get a XM Cloud project and your clients wants to do something custom which is not provided by the out of the box, right? That's where you will be trying to build and plug in, okay, in these components in your XM Cloud, okay, to meet a functional design requirements beyond what is offered by default. Okay. These are the typical 4 types of components that XM Cloud provides, which is out of the box, Sitecore components, SXA components, and bring your own components. So Kaushik, I'll request you to dive us deeper in this area.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ron, for the detailed information. So, team, today our focus will be on the XM Cloud components, which is the, I mean, in build thing, you can use the in build option of Sitecore XM Cloud and create the component without doing a single line of code. So this XM Cloud component builder will be our main focus today. So what are the things we can do in the XM Cloud component builder? First of all, is this will give you one opportunity or one option to build the component on into the XM Cloud itself using the Wising interface. So there actually you can define the structure, the layout, the functionality of the component, and you can create a basic components in the XM Cloud component builder. Next, what you can do, you can see in the menu we have just beside the components, we have style here. So you can manage the style, the essential style and branding as per the as per your client's requirement or as and can do the brand consistency across the digital platform. So with the XM Cloud components, marketer can set and apply styles to the various components. Then you can see there is another option that is called data source. So it will not only show the static data to the site. We can assign the data source itself. These data source can be different types of data source like Sitecore content, one external APIs, some databases. So we can have different data sources for the component. So now we will discuss about what are the key benefits of creating the Sitecore components. First of all, that it will give you the enhanced design system. What does it mean? It means that the marketers or the content editor, they can create or they can use these small and reusable components to the website. And they can, let's say if it is a responsive website, you want to show a specific design in the larger screen, in the more smaller screen, a different one, tab different one, mobile in different one, that design we can actually implement in the XM Cloud itself without doing a single line of code. API first approach by establishing API data source at the outset of the project. So what does it mean is that we can have different kind of data source for that component. We can have API data source also, and that data source is actually is decoupled from the component development. The component can have a static data, but we can assign data source to the component. This data source can be different data source. Low code or no code approach. We can say it is a no code approach. You do not need to do a single line of code to implement or to develop a basic component which we can use into the site. I'll show you how we can do that without doing a code. And then the flexibility of the data source, we already discussed about this, that we can have different kind of data source like static JSON. You can show the Sitecore content. You can get the data from the REST API, GraphQL. So whatever data source you want to apply, you can do that. So now let's have a demo of the XM Cloud component builder, how the XM Cloud component builder works. Please let me know if you can see the XM Cloud page. I believe you can see the XM Cloud page.
Yes, we can.
I'm assuming that you all have some basic idea about the XM Cloud. If you don't have, don't worry about that. You can go to my blog. You can have all the, you can go through the post there, and you will get the basic idea of XM Cloud, how we can set up a site there, how we can set up a project, a site, and everything, how we can set up the XM Cloud site there. So here we are assuming that you know about those things, and we will only discuss about the component builder. So this I actually opened the XM Cloud, the portal of the XM Cloud. Now I'm going to the app. I'm opening the app from where actually we will manage the component. So in the app, you can see what I did is that for the demo purpose, to save the time, because we have very limited time, for the demo purpose, actually I created a tutorial site. There is a site already created into the system, and we will use this site to show you the demo. So here we have option called sites. We can have multiple sites here, and there is a tool option. This tool you can get the similarity with the launchpad we have in the Sitecore XP. So here you will get different kinds of link, and where you can work. You can create pages from here. You can get experience editor, forms, analytics, and all the other things. Today we will mainly focus on the components. So if you want to create a component, Sitecore component using the component builder, you need to go to this component section. See, this is the component section. There we have the top menu. You can see the components, styles, data source, publishing, and settings. So we will mainly here we will try to understand how we can create a component. Now you can see you can add component in different areas. So these are actually called the collection. It is recommended, highly recommended, to add a collection and then add the component, because it will give you it will actually help you to manage and organize the components as you are categorizing these things using the collection. So it will help you to manage and organize the components into the XM Cloud if you have hundreds of components. So it is always recommended to create your own collection, and it is pretty simple. Just click on collection. You need to provide the name and just save it. So it will create a collection there. Now within a collection, you can add the component. If you want to add the component, if you click on add component, here also you need to give the name of the component, some description which is optional. You may give, you may not, and you can choose the other collections also. Okay, so I actually created components to save the time. So this one I created for the demo purpose. You can see user group detail. So let me show you how I created this component. So when you click on create a component, you will get an interface like this, where you can create different components. So how it will look at the beginning? It will look like, let me show you how it will look. It will look like this. You will get a blank section over there. You can see the design is like a bootstrap design. We have sections over there, and this one is called a section. Within that section, you can add the elements to create a component. Now, what are the elements? Elements are some by default out of the box elements provided by Sitecore. Let's see, like paragraph, heading, section, card, block, link, button. So there are different types of elements like block element, text element, inline element. So you can use those elements to develop your or to create your component. Now, another important thing, here you can see some screen resolutions. See, extra large, extra large, large, medium, small, all options are here. So you have options to select for which screen you are creating this component version. You see, you can add another version also. So you can have single version for all the screen. You can have multiple versions for different screen. Let's say I just select top three, extra large, extra large, extra large, and large. And this will only applicable for the screen resolutions, which is max size 1400, more than 1400 px and more than 1200 px. So accordingly, it will show into the page, in your web page, as per the screen resolution. Next step, what you need to do is that in the section, you need to add the element. Let's say we'll create an element. I need one image. So let me find out the image. Here it is. So I click on image. Now I need to append that image inside this section. So I need to click on append inside. See, the image is coming over here. The image properties are there in the right hand side section where you can give image source, image caption, image sizing you can do. We will come into this part in later stage of the demo. So I can add one image. Now, whatever element you add, you can just change the position also. See the position. You can change the position as per your need. Next, let's say I just select the section. I want to add a title, a description, and a link. So I just create one card for that. Now, what card will help me? Card will help me to organize that properly. See, this card is created in the right hand side section. I just drag it to the right section. Now I have the card. Inside the card, let's say I'm adding a title. Say H4 heading. Append inside. This is a test heading. Next, I'm adding another element. Let's say paragraph. Append inside. This is a test paragraph. So you can have a long text here also. And add element, let's say link, and provide a link also. So this is the link. Paste link. In the link. So this is the link you actually added over here. So you can provide the source and everything for the link, link URL that you can provide from here. So all you can provide in the right hand side section. So see, I provided some static text for the text, paragraph, text link. Here also we have the default image. It is showing over there. So this is how you can create a static component over here. So now what I want to do, let's say I want to add some style to the component so that it has the proper branding as per my website. So how we can do that? We can go to the style and can implement that. I will show you some basic things of the style because this is a huge area which we cannot cover in a single demo. I'll try to come up with a different demo for this, but you can definitely go to my blog and can see how we can implement the styles or branding a component or a specific single elements. But here I will try to give you the basic idea of how we can implement the style. In the style, you can see there are 4 sections. One is the basic styling, where you can manage the font, color, graphics, and the breakpoints. Next, whenever you create the basic styling, the next is you are giving some rules to the style, how it will implement. And then you are assigning the style to the element. And finally, you can create a theme. So see, here are the fonts. So if you want to add your own font, your custom font, you can do that. Click on fonts, it will provide you options to add Google fonts. The Google font option you can get, as well as the weightage you can add. Now, if you do not want to use Google font, you want to use a custom CMS, that also you can do. You can also fetch the font and the font weightage from a CSS URL also if you have it. So that also you can implement here. So I created some fonts here for the demo purpose, like Roboto. You can see the weightage also. Different kind of weightage we have here. Next is the color. See, the color you want to use, let's say for the text, for the button and everything, you want to use the branding properly, so that you can add here. I added one custom color, that is white. This is also very basic things. You need to add the color, the collection. Now, one thing I want to mention is that whatever you add in the style or in the components, try to use collection. This collection will help you to group those things on. You can have your own custom collections there for different categories. It will help you to manage everything properly. So see, you can have the color name, hex code or RGB you can provide here, and opacity also. So you can create colors. Next, you can create graphics also, custom graphics. Name the name of the graphics. I mean, this is basically nothing but managing the icons, the images into your site as per the branding. The graphics is mainly used for that. Next, the breakpoint. The breakpoint means the width of the component. What should be the width of a specific component, for the larger screen, for the medium screen, for the small screen. So you can add different kinds of width or different. See what we can do. I mean, for extra large, we can start and end. So what will be the minimum width of the component if we select extra large? So in the component, when we are creating the component, we need to select the screen resolution. So here you can set your own screen resolution also as per the need. Now next is the rules. I mean, what we do in the rules, see what we are doing in the rules. Let's say for the paragraph, I want to add some rule, how the paragraph should show into my website. In different pages, we can have different rules. So say for the paragraph, what I'm saying is that the font should be this. I can choose any of the font. So throughout the site, wherever I use the paragraph element, it will always follow this font. In the settings, we can say the font size, we can say the letter spacing, letter height, spacing, icon sizes, everything, even case styling, how the case, it will show the camel cases or caps or smaller version, so that we can add over here. We can also have custom CSS for the paragraph. And if this is not only applicable for the paragraph, you can add these for, I mean, some other things also. Let's say for the button, I mean, for the H1, H2, so heading, some other things also. You can add those typographic here. I mean, how the basic styling will be implemented there. Next, we can discuss about the filling, means the background color. Different sites can have different background color. So let's say you have a specific background. In my case, I actually added the white background color here. So here, this is also very simple. You just need to provide the name of the color. Now, what color you want to use? It's a solid, a gradient, the color, and the opacity also you can choose. In fact, you can choose the effects. Is it a blur, or what is the opacity of the blur? If you do not want to use anything, by default, you can add your custom CSS also for the background color. Spacing. This is a very important thing for any component development. I mean, what will be the space between the image and the text, within the text, as well as within the component. So see, we have options there. I mean, the blocks. I added card there. You can add a spacing for the card. You can add a spacing for the components, the blocks. So that you can do simply, you can add the name, suppose paragraph should be unique. I mean, we have the paragraph, so let one. Now you can add the spacing. What will be the padding, the gaps that you can give in px, in percentage, and all. Gaps you can provide. What should be the gaps? See the vertical padding, vertical gap. I mean, into the deep section, you can provide all the spacing related information into your website. You can also use the custom one. And the custom CSS also. You can add padding top, right, bottom, left, you can assign over here. So this is also a very important thing, spacing. Now, see, you created the basic styling in the base. you created the rules. Now here, what you are doing, you are assigning those styling and rules into the elements. See, the text element. So in the component, we have header 1, paragraph, header 2. Those are all text element where we provide the text. So for text, you are assigning the styling. See, detail, light, typography provided the, assigning the typography. In typography, we already have font, color, breakout points, everything. Now, text color, you can choose the text color, even you can provide the custom CSS. These things you can do for the paragraphs, headings, in fact, in the inline elements also. Inline element means link, button, baggages, you can do here. So as for the block elements, like suppose you are adding, creating a main div, cards, I'm using cards there. So see the card I can add dark, light, custom card. So whatever be the design I want to use, I can choose from here. So same thing you can choose here. See how it will be the background color. The background color is showing as the gray. The decoration, the spacing, what will be the space for that block element, and you can add the custom CMS also. So now all the things when it is prepared, you can create your theme for your application or the website. So there are light theme, dark theme, so you can create your own theme. You have added the fonts, the basic from CSS, the rules, the elements which will use those rules and CSS. Now those elements you can assign over here and can create the theme of your website, which you can use in to manage the consistency or branding of the site. So see, we can add the block element for this theme, the inline element and the text element, and we have all the settings over there into that block element, inline element and text elements. So I hope this will give you a basic idea of how we can manage the styling. So now the next, the main important part which we will discuss about the data source. So now this is, you can see a static data we are showing here. How we can assign a data source to it. So to assign a data source to it, we need to go to the content editor. So here you can see there is one option called content editor. This will give you a, a look and feel of the XP. I believe you will be comfortable with this look and feel because this is a basic XP where we are using the content editor. We have the same look and feel here. So let's say, first of all, what you need to do in normal XP also, we are doing the same thing. First, we create a template. So see, actually, I created a template inside the feature custom component. I created feature webinar template. So in the template, you can see I added title, description, link, and photo there. A single line text, multi-line text, general link, and image. But pretty simple thing. I created this template. Now, this is my tutorial site. And first I show you that I created a site tutorial. Into my tutorial site, I want to add, let's say I want to add that component into the home page and I want to create a data source into the within the home page. So if you are familiar with SXC, you know all these things. So I'm going to the data home page webinar. There I provide the information, the title, description. I'm not using any link, and the, you can say the banner or the photo, the image I'm showing about there. So this is the data source I created. Now, the very important thing, you created the template, you created the data source, but how? But you need to assign that particular template and tell XM Cloud that this is the data source in the settings. How you can do that? You need to go to the settings. This is very important thing. If you don't do it, then whatever template you add, source you add, you will not get that option into the component builder. To get the option in the component builder, there is one drop down that is called FEASS component data source template. So there you can see I added the feature webinar template as a data source templates. You can have multiple templates there and you whatever template you want to use for different components. Let's say you have 10 components. For 10 components, you want to use 10 different templates. So you need to all those here. So for 10 components, you will get option for those things. Now you can assign a specific template, which one you use for this component. So I added feature webinar. So once I added that, if I come here, I created this image. See, we have image source. What it is showing, the static one. So this is a static source. You can provide a paste URL and it will show from here. But I want to change it. I want to map it. You need to go to the map. Now in the map section, I already mapped this component because it is already created. Initially, you will get the option to map the component with the template. But it's simple, a checkbox there. You need to check it. But I already mapped it. So see, we have the option to add the value for the image. I just click on source. Complete. So this image will have the image source. Next, suppose heading. For the heading, again same thing. It is a static. You can map it with title. So it is showing single line text. Paragraph. Same, we have static one. You need to map it with description. Link, we have static one. Link, you want to map it with, suppose, href. So this is a pretty simple thing. You just need to map it with the template and into the component builder. Now your component is ready, but it will not show in the pages where you drag and drop the component. It will not show there. Why? Because whenever you create a new component, you need to stage it first. Whatever version you create, you need to stage all the version. Or if you change anything, suppose you are doing any change, you need to restage it. Until and unless you stage a component or restage any change, it will not reflect into the page where you want to drag and drop the component. So let me go to the component, and here I'm going to cloud portal. I'm going to the pages where actually I will drag and drop the component there. I already did that, but I will again drag and drop that component, and we'll show you how we can assign here you can see I already did that. So it is there, but let me delete it. So I deleted the component. See, we have the tree. We can add pages here. This is also the basic thing of SimCloud. I hope you know it. If you don't, please go to my blog. You will have the detail over there. Now the component. Here you will see all the component. Those are staged. If we do not stage it, it will not show over here. So let's search for our component. We have SUG collection. Within SUG collection, we have user group detail. So let me just drag and drop it. See, as it is showing, as it is not a static component, it is getting the data from the data source, asking me to provide the data source. So I can assign the data source there. Let me assign. Let's see what it is showing. So it is showing the image, the text, and the description. What I provided in the component builder, image, this image, a header, and the description. And what I did is that I mapped it with the title, description, and image. So now if I go to the content editor, if I go to data, and if I go here, you can see the title, description, and the image we have, which we are showing here. Now if I click on view, I didn't publish the page, I'm just clicking on view. Please show me this. So this is how we can create a basic component using the component builder and XM Cloud, and we can use those into the pages. So I believe as per your experience, you can understand that almost 80% of component, which are not actually the complex one, we do not need to code it in the XM Cloud if we want to build it. So that's it for the today's demo. Let me. So that's all for today demo.
Thanks, Kaushik. Thanks.
Please let me know if you have any question.
Yeah. Before coming to Korea, I would like to thank Kaushik. It was a very nice session. We got a very nice experience of how to create the components. It was a very detailed one. It will surely help anyone who wants to do it.
Thank you.
So, anyone have any questions, please?
I have one question, Arjun. So in case of multi-list field, right? So if the data source is having a multi-list field, right? So how we are going to map that one? Because it will show you the IDs. So how that will get mapped in the component builder? That is one question.
Just
Because when I was working, I also faced I faced issue in this. So if it's a multi-list, it was showing the ID. So how
so
that
if you go to the element here, suppose add element, see we have the list item there. See we have the list item there. Oh, sorry. So here you can actually use the list item, and you can add, you can have the list item source. Sorry, see the list item is showing over there. You can have the list item data collection. You can map it with the data and you can show it using the list collection.
it will map it.
Sorry?
It will map it, right?
Yeah, you need to map it. I do not have the list collection field there, so that's why I cannot map it. But you can use the list collection field and you can map it. And that then it will show you the data.
Got it.
Okay. Thanks, Chandan. Sumit?
Yeah, hello everyone. Sumit this side.
Yeah, hi Sumit.
Yeah, thanks Rohan and Kaushik for delivering this. I have couple
Thank
of questions. First is like you said that we can create component for different resolutions, right?
Right.
But don't you think it would be good to handle it through CSS, because having multiple components, let's say we change something in one component, then we have to change in 3 more components. So
I mean,
what
you
is the
have the option there. I mean, see, in XM Cloud, you have the option that you can have different versions of component for different resolutions. Say, let me just try to show you one thing. See, in the mobile version, it is showing the image at the top and text and description in the below. If I change it to the desktop version, it is showing me side by side. So you have that option that you, but if definitely, as I informed you and I show you that you can use your own custom CMS also in the component. So you can do that in the responsive design. You can do the same thing using the responsive design, but you can do here also. I mean, using the custom, not using the custom CSS, but by default. Yes, Rohan.
Okay, so Sumit, if your question is a generic one, is what is recommended, then it
Huh,
totally
no,
depends
yeah.
on your project. Depends on your project estimates also, right? So if you want faster to market, you cannot sit and write a whole custom CSS right? But let's say you have a longer duration project where you have 6 months, and if you want to do it like what we say a Figma design mapping, like pixel by pixel perfect, then I'll say like custom CSS will be better than using XM Cloud. But let's say if you just have 2 months of a project where you need to push it live, because see, XM Cloud will not have a very complex websites for now. Like this product is maturing. So what we foresee is the product websites like news portals, which is more about a content one, will be hosted on this site rather than more transactional website, right? So it depends totally on your project requirement. So there are two ways of doing it. If you go by traditional way, it still supports. If you want to go by new way, as Kaushik said, right, there are 6, I think, large, extra large, and you can have your custom breakpoint as well in XM Cloud. When you build a component, you just need to set it once, and then wherever you use that component in a site, it will be automatically handled.
Okay. Yeah. One more thing, like in XSA, like earlier used to, there is a copy component, right? So I'm very much relating this BYOC with that copy component. Like
First of
where
all,
we just like promo, there was a promo component. We just used to copy that like through some scripts,
mhm.
and it just created a new view, new template.
See, first of all, this is not a BYOC. This
Or
is we are creating a component using component builder. Being your own component is a separate thing which we can discuss in our later webinar. But this is a simple using the component builder. You can create a component,
yeah,
XM component builder first. Second is if you are familiar with SXA, then we have one what you are saying, the copy thing. If you are familiar with SXA, we have one option also that creating SXA component inside. So those are the different types which already Rohan discussed initially. So this is a I mean, you can say the out of the box option provided by Sitecore. That not the out of the box component, but you can create your own component within the Sitecore using the editor provided by them. Not
So
the coding
BYOC,
part. That is the coding thing. Suppose you need to create a complex component, and you need to code it. So suppose you are building it in a React or I mean Next.js. So you did that and you just bring that component into the Sitecore. That is a separate discussion. We can do this in later stage. And separate type of component, that is not this one. This is a component builder one.
Okay, got it. One more thing like this, right? Stage and restage. If you can just elaborate a little bit. Is it some kind of publish that thing?
Yeah, I mean, publishing is a different thing. Staging and yes, that is a different. Let me just again. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
See, this one is already staged. See, draft. We have different. I mean, stage, as even a state of a component or a component version. The first state is draft. When you start working on it, it is showing you as draft. Then if you click on stage, it will stage it. Now, what is the use of stage? Stage will give you option to show it in the page. I mean, whenever you are logged in as a CMS user, you can see it in the list, component list. If you do not stage it, then you will not see this in the list. It will show as a draft. Now, suppose you have implemented everything and you have done all the component, created the pages. Now you want to show it in the public side. You created your public pages. You want to use it into your public side. Then you need to publish it.
At that moment, you will publish.
Yes. Then you can. It will show into the public side. Till then, it is in stage. It is show you into the CMS. If you do not stage it, it will not show into the CMS list. Okay, until and unless you stage it. It is in the draft version. It will not show you in the, when you are creating the page, you have pages here and you have component list here. It will not show you here. It will not show you.
Yeah, I have one like scenario. Let's say I have attached to a page, right? Home page, this component. It's just in a stage mode, not published. And I have published the page.
then it will automatically publish all the,
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
related
related
things.
item,
Yes,
related
yes,
things.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
Actually, I'm still working in XP, so my question can be little silly.
No problem. No, nothing is a silly question. So
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sumit. Anyone having any
Yeah,
more
Arjun, I have
questions?
one more question. So
Go
when
on.
you go to the style part, right? So let's see if I have a custom CSS file, right? So most of the time the HTML team give us the CSS, right? And I simply want to go to the theme section, right? And create a theme, and in the theme I directly paste the CSS. So will it work? So if you create any
No,
theme,
no, it will not work. See, in the theme, what you are doing? In the theme, you mainly assigning the elements there. The block element, inline element, text element. But if you want to use custom CSS, you need to use that in the element section. Suppose here you can see we can use custom CSS. So for all the specific elements, you need to assign your custom CSS. This is not like the, I mean, like the normal sites, the XP or MVG site, what we are doing. My understanding is that I never tried that, but my understanding is that you cannot directly assign this into the theme, but you can assign the custom CSS for every elements like text element, inline elements, or the block elements, and in small pieces. Then you can add those elements into the themes so that themes use that particular CSS.
when we create the theme, there is an option now put CSS. We can copy the CSS. Is it giving? Just go to the theme once. If you create any theme, do you have any option to paste?
See, I don't think so.
So
See,
no option. No?
you can add the elements there.
That we can do. Correct.
So, but you can have custom CSS for those elements. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Samir. Any other question?
Here we go. So, anyone with any questions? Okay. So thanks everyone for joining today's session. It was a really nice one.
Yeah.
Thanks Kaushik and Rohan for your ability.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you.
Thank you all
Thanks,
for joining our
Thanks,
session.
Kaushik. Thanks, Juan.
Thanks for your time.
Thank
Thanks
you, Ron.
everyone for spending time with
Thank
us,
you.
and thank you SCG Kolkata for hosting us again. Thank you.
Yes.
Have a wonderful
Thank you.
weekend ahead. Happy weekend. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Same to you.
Bye. Bye everyone.
Bye.